Today, let's find out if Apple will become a serious threat or joke to OpenAI, and how next-gen consoles will blow you away. Let's get into it. Tim Cook has a plan, one that will save Apple from its AI shame. They hyped Apple Intelligence like this AI messiah, only for it to feel like the Judas of innovation. But, true to his name, Tim is cooking. And it's not just another memo saying, Apple must win in AI at all costs. He's assembling a new team codenamed A.K.I. Answers, knowledge, information. And according to the ever-reliable Mark Gurman, this squad mission to build a ChatGPT style search engine, and possibly even a full-blown app. But here's the thing, Apple already promised a personalized Siri. So, will this new app possibly help them compete, or is this just a billion-dollar midlife crisis? Speaking of crises, we'll find out how Sony and Microsoft will shake up the entire console and PC industry in a minute. But Elon Musk is back and fanning the flames of his beautifully unhinged AI project, Grok, which just unlocked the power to generate videos. For Super Grok and Premium Plus subscribers on the iOS app, users can now turn text or image prompts into 15-second videos with native audio. And users basically have their own mini OnlyFans disguised as spicy mode. Yes, we can attempt to make videos of public figures. No, it doesn't always end well. But restrictions apply, depending on how thirsty the algorithm is that day. And while that chaos brews, Musk's XAI has officially filed a trademark for the name MacroHard, a parody of Microsoft. Saying those two back-to-back sounds so wrong. But the name may stem from a beef. Musk isn't a fan of Microsoft, and rumor has it that he might still hold a grudge from Bill Gates buying a Porsche EV instead of a Tesla. Which raises deeper questions, like how many parody companies is this guy holding just because someone did buy a Tesla? Imagine his kid asking for a BMW toy. That's the last time that kid is hitting the dinner table ever again. Moving on, OpenAI is trying to cure an AI crisis by updating ChatGPT to detect signs of mental or emotional distress. This comes after reports that the chatbot might have accidentally amplified users' delusions during vulnerable moments. So now OpenAI is working with mental health experts to help ChatGPT respond more responsibly, offering evidence-based responses when needed. And during long sessions, you might start seeing a message like, "Hey, you've been chatting for a while, this is a good time for a break." Which, let's be honest, 9 times out of 10 will be met with a firm and apologetic no. ChatGPT also stopped giving direct advice on sensitive personal questions, like, should I break up with my girlfriend? Instead, it will gently guide you through options, like a therapist trapped in a laptop. There are some more updates I haven't mentioned, but the gist is, OpenAI wants to make ChatGPT feel more helpful, not turning it into your emotionally codependent best friend, which is fair, especially now that it's chatting with nearly 700 million people every week. On to less chaotic things. A man just controlled an iPad with his mind. The medical company Synchron helped an ALS patient using a brain implant and Apple's brand new brain-computer interface HID protocol. Yes, a mouthful. This patient can now launch apps, send messages, read the news, and stay connected, all by thinking, basically covering his daily online needs. I know Neuralink pulled off something similar and basically shows that there's actually something to look forward to for the future. But we have to go back to the chaos of the world in the form of Apple's iPhone changes. It's like the thinnest iPhone ever, Apple's quest to turn the iPhone into a credit card with a camera. Fresh rumors say the battery will be less than half the thickness of the iPhone 17 Pro's battery. And I know what you're thinking. That's small.
That's what she said.
And you're right, it's estimated at 2,800 milliamp-hours, which for context is slightly lower than the iPhone 12, which has good battery life on its day. However, Apple plans to offer an optional battery gain because internal tests show that 60 to 70% of users might survive a full day on a single charge. So let me get this straight. You built the thinnest iPhone ever just to bulk it back up with a case. That's like working hard to lose weight, only to change your mind once you smell fried chicken. Now, to be fair, they might pull it off. Apple is reportedly testing silicon anode high-density cells to make the slim battery viable. But still, is this a phone for users or a thin flex to win a design war no one asked for? But the chaos must continue because Apple has moved from suing YouTubers to suing cinemas. No, seriously. They just filed a federal lawsuit against Apple Cinemas, a small independent theater chain. Why? Because Apple argues that the name Apple Cinemas will confuse customers into thinking Apple owns the joint. According to the lawsuit, the theater was warned multiple times. They even got a cease and desist. And now Apple's taking them to court for having the audacity to exist. Naturally, the internet had thoughts. Here are a few real gems from the MacroHard comment section. They'll sue Apple 22. Next up, Apple sues Mother Nature for creating Apple. Another lawsuit, the EU needs to humble them again. Who's next? Applebee's. At this point, Apple either needs new lawyers or they're just becoming that insecure teenager who thinks everyone's judging them. Into the gaming news, AMD might just cause internal chaos for Intel's mental health. The company is expanding its Granite Ridge lineup with 2 new Zen 5 CPUs, including a 16-core 32-thread monster with 192 megabytes of L3 cache, a 200-watt TDP, and dual CCDs on both dies. But if the stars align and the rumors are true, this could be the first time AMD ships a CPU with 3D V-cache on both chiplets, meaning more cache bandwidth and better multi-threaded performance. But that's not all. There's also a second rumored chip with 8 cores and 16 threads, 96 megabytes of L3 cache, and 120 watt TDP. Thinks the Ryzen 7 9800X3D, but possibly a whole new school. And if the chips actually launch, it's not just a win for AMD, it's another public embarrassment for Intel. AMD is also cooking up a new GPU, the RX 9060, basically a slightly nerfed version of the RX 9060 XT. It's built on the same Navi 44 GPU but comes with a slightly slower memory, slightly reduced clock speed, less bandwidth, and still rocks a PCIe Gen 5x16 interface. Rumors hint at a 28 RDNA compute units instead of the 32, but key specs like board power and release date are still under wraps. And finally, the most chaotic of them all, AMD might help consoles redefine what they can actually achieve. According to Lamar's lawyers, the PS6 can have triple the rasterization power of the PS5 and twice the performance of the PS5 Pro, all at the same price. Backwards compatibility, yes, for PS5 and PS4 games. Launch window, possibly late 2027 or early 2028. Meanwhile, the Xbox is taking a more different, more violent route. Digital Foundry's weekly podcast claims Microsoft's next console is less about challenging consoles and more about challenging pre-built gaming PCs. The reason, the rumored Magnus APU. It splits the CPU and GPU into separate dies, allowing for better upgrade options and better scalability. But don't expect it to crush high-end pre-builds. It's gunning for the mid-range spot and could play a key role in Xbox's ultimate mission to turn everything into an Xbox. And finally, that's it for today's tech news. I hope you got updated. I love you and I'll see you in the next one.